Welcome to the Spaghetti Well podcast, where the mess is the method, exploring what makes life meaningful, confusing, and sometimes just plain fun. I'm Jason Wilcox, licensed clinical social worker and therapist, and today we're diving into a topic that's quietly shaping how all of us think: confirmation bias and echo chambers. They sound like psychological or psychology buzzwords, but they affect almost every part of how we live: what news we read, who we trust, and even how we see ourselves. I picked this topic after seeing a post online where someone shared a photo the news had used, and everyone in the comments claimed it was fake. Hundreds of people chimed in, saying the image was from 10 years ago, proof that the media was lying to them. But here's the thing. A quick 5-second search showed the photo was real, the story was real, there was solid evidence backing it up, yet hundreds of people had already agreed, shared, and built entire arguments on something false. That's what made me think how easily we all fall into those loops where emotion takes over logic, and how social media has made that even easier. So let's start with the basics. Confirmation bias is our natural tendency to seek out, remember, and believe information that supports what we already think, and to ignore or dismiss anything that challenges it. It's not just a flaw in other people, it's built into all of us. If you've ever Googled something like, why keto is the best diet, instead of, is keto actually healthy? That's confirmation bias. You're starting with a conclusion and looking for evidence to back it up. Our brains evolved to protect us, not to find truth. We feel safer when the world makes sense, when it fits our existing story. That's why challenging ideas can feel threatening, even if they are true. Confirmation bias happens all around us. It can happen with politics, religion, clubs, sports, product preferences, healthy living topics, family, friends. It's all over. It can also happen when we are pulled into tribalism, which, if you want to check it out, we did another episode on tribalism as well. Now, let's add another layer: the echo chambers. An echo chamber is what happens when confirmation bias goes social. Imagine a room where everyone agrees with you. Every opinion you express gets echoed back louder, liked, shared, and validated. Over time, you stop hearing anything that doesn't fit the group's worldview. Social media supercharges this. Algorithms learn what we click on and feed us more of it. If you click on one political video, you get 10 more just like it. The more you engage, the narrower your world becomes. Eventually, it doesn't just feel like your opinion is a truth, it starts to feel like it's the only truth. So why does all this matter? Because echo chambers create division, not just politically, but emotionally and rationally, and amongst ourselves. They make empathy harder. They make curiosity rare. They make it feel like people who disagree with us are dangerous or stupid or immoral, instead of just different. Facts and reality get distorted and altered. When that happens, we stop learning, we stop questioning ourselves, and we start mistaking agreement for connection. And let's be honest, that's exactly what social media rewards. Outrage gets clicks. Nuance doesn't trend. But the cost is huge. We become addicted to being right instead of being real. So, how do you know when you've been caught in a confirmation loop or an echo chamber? Here are a few clues. You start labeling people. So, not listening to them, you say things like, they're all like that. Or you get angry fast when someone disagrees, even calmly. Another way to tell is you only follow or read one type of voice, people who sound just like you. Another way is you assume bad intent from the other side, even when you don't know their full story. Another way, you stop feeling curious. When those signs show up, it's not proof you're a bad thinker, it's proof you're human, but it's also your cue to pause. So, what do you do about it? You can't stop confirmation bias. It's part of being human, but you can build habits that can keep it in check. So, first one, Actively seek out disconfirming information. So read articles or watch videos that disagree with your view, not to attack them, but to understand. Another way is ask better questions. So instead of saying, how can they believe that? Try, what life experiences might make that belief make sense? Another way, follow people you respect who see things differently. You don't have to agree, just listen and learn. Another way, pause before reacting. The moment you feel defensive or superior, that's your signal to slow down and get curious. Also, a way to do this is talk, don't tweet. In-person conversations build empathy. Online arguments build walls and disconnect. So another way to kind of work through this is question motives. Ask yourself, who benefits if I believe this information? Whenever information comes from someone who stands to gain something, money, attention, influence, or power, take it with extra caution. That includes influencers, talking heads, content creators, or tribal leaders who build their identity around a cause or an ideology. And honestly, that even includes me, this product, therapists, educators, anyone with a microphone or a message. We all have perspectives, and sometimes we have blind spots. So don't take my word for it. It's not gospel. Think for yourself. Question everything. And verify what you hear. If someone's message depends on keeping you angry, afraid, or loyal, they have a motive to spin the truth. That doesn't always mean they're lying, but it does mean you should pause before you trust. Real truth seekers want you to think for yourself. Manipulators want you to think like them. Fact-checking is another way to kind of get over this whole echo chamber. When you notice everyone quickly piling on and agreeing, or something just doesn't feel quite right inside, what you do is, now I'm not saying you need to fact check everything, a single post or social media, that would drive anyone nuts. But when you see a post that's getting a ton of agreement, especially around emotional topics like politics, culture, or health, that's your cue to take a quick pause. Don't hit like, don't jump into the comments. Just take 30 seconds to see if what's being said actually holds up. Ask yourself, is this an opinion or is it being presented as fact? If it's claiming to be factual, where's the source? Does this point want to inform me or provoke me? That 30-second pause isn't about being cynical. It's about being conscious. Because when everyone's nodding along online, that's exactly when misinformation slides in easiest. Now, I told a friend of mine about this, about fact checking. And they said, that sounds great, Jason, but I don't even know how to fact check. And I realized for a lot of people, that's true. No one teaches us how to do it. So here's a simple 5-step way to fact check that takes less than a minute. So step 1, check the source. Ask, who's publishing this? If it's a meme, a random influencer, or a website you've never heard of, that's your first red flag. Step 2, look for reputable confirmation. If something's true, you'll usually see it verified by multiple credible sources, not just one outlet or influencer. Look for evidence-based research or peer-reviewed studies when the topic involves science, health, or social issues. Reliable information comes from places that cite their sources, show their data, and explain how they reach their conclusions. And here's a big one. If you keep finding a claim only on social media posts and nowhere in reputable publications or research databases, that's a red flag. Social media can spread ideas fast, but speed isn't the same as truth. If every proof you find traces back to the same meme, thread, or video, that's your signal to pause before you hit share. So step 3, watch the language. If the post uses emotional trigger words like outrage or shocking, they don't want you to know this. It's probably trying to manipulate your emotions, not inform you. Step 4, check the date and context. Real images and headlines get recycled all the time. A photo from 2017 can resurface today to make people angry about something that isn't even current. Step 5, use a tool. Google's Fact Check Explorer is a great start. or use AI tools. Even type the claim into ChatGPT or another fact checker and ask, is this verified? And what are the sources? Remember, what are the sources? You'll get a quick sense of whether it's accurate or spin. And here's the key. If it still feels confusing, that's not failure. That's thinking, critical thinking. Confusion means your brain's engaging instead of reacting. When we practice curiosity over certainty, we make space for connection. We make space for facts to come in. And connection is what actually changes people. So here's the takeaway. Your brain's working the same as everyone else's. It's biased. The question isn't whether you have confirmation bias, but whether you notice it. Social media and talking heads profit off our outrage, but we don't have to keep feeding them. We can step aside the echo chamber, listen to people we disagree with, and build bridges instead of barricades. Because growth doesn't happen in the echo, it happens in the conversation. So, thanks for listening to the Spaghetti Wall podcast. If this episode makes you think, or if you caught yourself noticing your own biases, share it with someone who challenges you. That's where the real work begins. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and feel free to toss topics our way so we can talk about them.